Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Ifeoluwa. In this video I'll be talking about how to cut and sew this simple gathered skirt. So I'll be showing you all the tricks to it and how to easily sew this neatly. So if it's something you're interested in learning, please stick around and watch this video to the end, and also subscribe to my channel. Please give my video a thumbs up and feel free to leave your questions and your comments in the comment section. Thank you very much guys. Now let's get started. So this is the material I'll be using. I have about 3 yards of Ankara fabric here, so I'll be using all of it. Now one easy way for you to understand or know how full you want your gathers to be is to use your waist multiplied by 3 or 4. So if you want it to be extremely full, you can go more than 4, you can go more than 5. So it depends on the availability of your material also. So I have 3 yards of this here, and the waist I will be working with is about 36 inches, so I'm going to be using times 3, so that is 3 yards of the Ankara fabric. So I'll be using 36 inches in 3 places. That's what I'll be using for the gathers, so which means the full length of the gathers will be 108 inches. So just make sure you don't use anything less than times 2, because that way your gathers will it will be looking very small, it won't come out very full. So now I already have the full width of my gathers, which is my waist times 3 inches. Then I'm going to measure out the length of the gathers. So the overall length of my skirt is 25 inches. Then for the band, I'll be taking 3 inches for the band, so I have 22 inches left for the skirts apart from the band. So after taking 3 inches away for the band, I have 22 inches left, and I'm going to be adding 1.5 inches for the sewing allowance. So altogether I have 23 inches and a half. So I'll go ahead to measure that out and cut it. So that is what I have for the gathered part of the skirt. Then I'm going to cut out the band for the skirt. Now for the band, I've already folded the fabric into 2. Then I'm measuring out my waist, which is divided by 2 plus 1.5 inches for zip allowance. You can put any amount of zip allowance you want. So that is what I'm trying to measure out here. The waist divided by 2 plus 1.5 inches. Or you can just measure it out straight. That is your waist. Just measure it out straight like that. Then I'm going to fold this and measure out the length of the band. So I already have 3 inches for the length of the band plus ½ inch for the sewing allowance. So that is what I have on fold like this. Then that's what I'll be cutting out. So guys, this is the band. If you measure it out straight like this, you're going to get your waist plus the allowance 1.5 on both sides. Then this is the length, which is 3½ inches. And by the time you fold it, you're going to have 3 inches by the time you fold it after sewing on the skirts. Now for the band, I'll be adding paper stay to the band so that it can be more structured, so that the band can stand really well. I'll be cutting out paper stay and adding to it. So this is what I have after ironing the paper stay to the band. Then I also proceeded to iron the ½ inch on both sides. That is the ½ inch for sewing the gathers. I decided to iron that out too. Then I also ironed the midpoint so that it's going to look really neat. So yeah, I'm just checking to see if I still have the accurate waist measurement divided by 2 plus the 1.5 inches. Now it's time to work on the gathered parts for this skirt. So you can do this in 2 ways. If you have a machine that can gather your skirts, go ahead to sew this on the machine and gather it, or you can just sew it on the machine loosely, then you start drawing together. But if you don't have that ability to do so, you can just use needle and thread the way I'm doing here. So I'll be using needle and thread to gather it. You make sure you cut out the thread in the length of the waist and more. Like I have the waist as 36 inches, I cut out the thread of about 46 inches so that it's going to reach the waist and you also have more. This is it after gathering with the needle and thread. I'm going to measure out the length of the waist, that is the accurate length of the band that you have. The band, which is the waist plus the zip allowance, I'm going to measure it out. Then if the gathers is not enough, you can unfold them, you can bring them out just to make sure you can distribute them well, just to make sure the gathers will be enough for the skirts. So after making sure you have the accurate measurements for the gathers ready, you can go ahead to cut out the thread. So you first of all tie the thread and you cut it out. So here I already took it to my machine to sew down the gathers, just so the gathers won't shift again when I'm pinning these parts to the band. So this is what I have, and I have my accurate waist measurement here plus the 1.5 inches for the zip allowance. Now to make sure the skirt comes out very neat, this is how it is meant to be with the band. It is meant to be in between the band like this. So this rough part is meant to be inside the band. That is what you are meant to have if you want this to come out very neat. So I'm going to show you how to sew that and cover it up. So what you just do is to go for the wrong side of the skirt of the gathers, then the right side of the band, the way I'm doing here. So the wrong side of the gathers and the right side of the band facing each other, then you pin up to the last part. Now you make sure that the part for the zip allowance is not gathered. So as you can see here, the part for the zip allowance is really flat, so that part is not going to be gathered. So now I'll go ahead to sew this on my machine. So the wrong side of the gathered skirt should be facing the right side of the band, and then you sew 0.5 inch for this. So guys, this is what I have after sewing together. You can see how it looks like. Now the next thing to do is to cover up that part. So this other part here that I already ironed by 0.5, I'm going to use it to cover up that rough where we just made the stitches, and you sew on top. You sew on top just a little bit to the edge of the band. Here I'm already done sewing that part. You can see how it looks like. If you open it at the front, it's very neat, and if you check the back too, it is also very neat. And now the next thing to do is to fix the zip. So I'm making sure the waistline of these skirts, I'm making sure they align very well together. I'm just going to pin that together just to measure out where I want the zip to be. So for the length of the zip, I'm going to be using the hip depth. So the hip depth is about 9 inches for this person. I'm going to stop there, and that is where the zip opening is going to be. Then from the 9 inches straight down, I'm going to sew it. Then I'll go ahead to fix my zip. Then after fixing the zip, I'm also going to sew the hem line. So remember, we left 1.5, we've used half for the upper part, then the remaining 1 inch is going to be for the hem line. So this is what I have after sewing it. This is the zip, and that is the hem line. So you can see that the skirt is looking really neat. And this right here is the end of this tutorial. So if you guys enjoyed this tutorial, please do not forget to give my video a thumbs up, and let me get your feedback too in the comment section. Share my video to your families and to your friends. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.